Thanks for watching Numbskull News, and today I got to talk about ESPN and how they ranked who they think is going to win the Big 12. Now, this kind of article dropped a week or two ago, something like that. I'm just getting around to it, but it's just a reminder just how much the national media sucks, how lazy they are. It's bullshit. All right. They got Texas, a 54% favorite. 54% favorite to win the Big 12. I understand the recruiting class. Every year they got a top recruiting class. That doesn't mean shit. I know it's supposed to, but when you're lazy and you're not actually looking at facts on the ground, as the national media never does, I don't care if it's college football, college basketball, NBA, NFL, the national media sucks at doing their job. And I get it. There's how many Division I football teams is there? Well over 100. You can't scout the hell out of every single person out there. I get that. I understand you may not even have time to really look hardcore into all 14 teams this year in the Big 12. But can you look past two? You can't look past just Texas and just Oklahoma. You can't you can't look at Texas Tech maybe a little bit. Oklahoma State, Baylor, TCU, who just played a national championship game. You can't look at anyone else's records, what they've done. Because I'm telling you right now, you can recruit all you want. If you don't got a head coach, you ain't got shit. All right, Texas A&M, crushing it in recruiting. Were horrible last year. Horrible. And they do got a good head coach. I don't get it. I don't think the guy just forgot how to coach. But I can't explain it. All I know is in the Big 12, we got a dearth of great head coaches. There's a word of the day for you, a dearth of fantastic head coaches. Now, there's a few oddballs out there. That West Virginia coach, they're going to send his ass back to the Sun Belt if he don't do something next year. I get it. Former West Virginia coach now in Houston, but he's got a little time. And you know what? In Houston, under him, he hadn't been that bad. We'll have to wait and see about the Cincinnati head coach. Wasn't doing too hot in Louisville, but we'll see if a change of scenery helps him out and a change of conference. But I'm sorry, Steve Sarkisian and Brent Venables. All right, let's start with Brent Venables because OU was the second highest ranked team. Really? All right, let's discuss Brent Venables. Last year was his first year. First year in the Big 12, first year in OU. And that was the worst season OU has had in 24 years. 24 freaking years. And in the preseason AP poll, they were ranked inside the top 10. That tells me all these national media assholes thought OU was going to be really good and a threat to win the Big 12, probably even a threat to get into the playoff. And he put together the worst season in 24 years, Brent Venables. Not the stuff you call great coaching. Let's talk about Steve Sarkisian, which is way worse. He's been in 3 different Power 5 schools. Washington, USC, and Texas. 9 years he's had prime head coaching jobs on a high level, getting top recruit after top recruit. Keep in mind, he's a brilliant coordinator. He's a fantastic recruiter. And out of those 9 years, he's got 1 9-win season. Sark coming hot with 1 out of 9 seasons. 1 9-win season. Are you kidding me? This dude sucks as a head coach. And you got them as the best odds to win the Big 12? This is what we are fighting in the Big 12. Fighting for respect. Because of the brand, because of the money, because of the recruiting prowess, doesn't mean you're going to win the Big 12. Look at the last several years here. All right, so I'm going to go down the list of all the coaches that are far more talented than those two. All right? Because to me, coaching is where it's at in football. You have to have a coach. It's two things, coach and quarterback. If you got a coach and you got a quarterback, you can do something in football, whether that's on the high school level, college level, or the NFL level. You got to have the coach, number one, and you got to have a quarterback. It has to happen like that. You got to have it. They got quarterbacks at OU. They got quarterbacks coming out of their ass at Texas. And what are they doing with it? Nothing. Why? Because Sark sucks. Because Venables sucks. Let me tell you something. I'll take Mike Gundy in a New York Minute over either one of those two. I know Oklahoma State was down. Of course they're down. But hell, he had them in the Big 12 Conference Championship just a year prior to that. And I know they lost a ton of people in the transfer portal. I'll still take Mike Gundy over either one of those two. He's done way more with less. Matt Campbell. You realize I know Iowa State won like 4 games last year. Also, best defense, but the worst offense, right? It's a bad combo. However, they're still in the best stretch in Iowa State history under Mr. Campbell. Not to mention he was in the Big 12 championship game in 2020. He got Iowa State there in 2020. This is a fantastic coach. Chris Kleiman just won the Big 12 at Kansas State. That ain't easy to do at Kansas State. Hell, Iowa State either. You're not going to out-recruit Texas in those two locations. Chris Kleiman won 4 national championships at the FCS level with North Dakota State. Fantastic head coach. Going to be there a long, long, long time at Kansas State. Sonny Dykes turned around SMU. This was the moribund of all moribund freaking teams and programs out there. SMU sucked. Turned them around. Was beating TCU every year. Completely respectable team. Then he goes to TCU. Year 1, goes to the national championship game. Beats Michigan along the way. Right now, Sonny Dykes is the only head coach to win a freaking playoff game. Not Texas, not Oklahoma, not anybody else in the Big 12 has won a playoff game except for Sonny Dykes and TCU. Lance Leopold. Crazy name, I know. But this dude was a 2-time coach of the year at Buffalo, comes to Kansas, gets them to 6 wins. I know it's only 6 wins, but it's the first bowl game in 14 years they've been to. Do you realize what he was able to accomplish in Kansas? This is a fantastic coach. And I would take him all day long over those 2 idiots at the top of the conference as far as ESPN is concerned. Gus Malzahn won a national championship. Well, that's with Cam Newton. Well, Cam Newton had a whole hell of a lot of teammates, did he not? He also had a head coach named Gus Malzahn. And that's in a conference with Georgia, with Alabama and LSU winning titles all around him, and he gets up there and gets one. First 2 years at UCF. First 2 years, 9 wins each year. I know that's coming down from when they were 2 years undefeated. But damn, that ain't coming down a lot. That ain't coming. And matter of fact, he's doubled up the 9-win seasons just in those 2 years that Sark has his whole career. How about Dave Aranda, one of the most respected head coaches in the nation? Just last year, 2021 season, won the Big 12. Yeah, they fell off. It's been a little bit of a roller coaster ride. That's fine. Dave Aranda is going to be back. Baylor will be back. He is that good of a head coach. He's proven it. How about Joey McGuire? I'll take Joey McGuire over either one of those 2 idiots. He at Texas Tech has a top 25 recruiting class coming in. He was 8-5 last year. And that's the best record Texas Tech has had in 13 years. Finished 4th in the Big 12. Beat Texas and OU last year. Are you kidding me? Texas and OU are the favorite? And one more coach I'll talk about that I would take over either one of those two guys. Kalani Sitake. That's a cool ass name. BYU head coach. Last 3 seasons, all 3 winning seasons, including an 11 and a 10 win season. I know he started off kind of rough there at BYU, but damn, he's come up strong the last 3 years. And that's as an independent. It is hard to get recruits at BYU. It is hard to win at BYU. Coach Sitake has figured it out. He's figured out how to win at BYU. That tells me he is one hell of a head coach. That's 9 coaches in the Big 12. I would gladly take over those 2 dipshits at Texas and OU. As a matter of fact, when they leave the conference, this conference, the Big 12, will rise a hell of a lot more. It'll do a hell of a lot more for our reputation as far as having great coaches. Because we'll only have like maybe 3 questionable people out there. The rest of them are solid, and they're going to be around for a while. Unless Mike Gundy decides to retire or something. The rest of them are going to be around for a long, long time and make this one hell of a conference, one fun freaking conference. So if you ask me, is Texas or OU worthy of being the favorites to win the Big 12? Hell no. They ain't got the coaches. They got the recruiting classes. They got the talent. They got the money. They got every advantage known to mankind. But I'm seeing what all of these other coaches are doing with none of those advantages. And it's a hell of a lot more impressive than what those 2 have put out there. Especially Sark. That guy sucks. If you need an offensive coordinator, that's the first phone call you make. Sark is fantastic as a freaking coordinator. As a head coach, he's proven one thing. Meh. That's what he's proven. Nothing. He's mid. He ain't jack shit. Of course, it's football. Is it possible that Texas or OU win the Big 12 or at least get to a Big 12 conference game? Of course. Anything can happen in football. But the chances are those 2 guys going against a whole host of fantastic coaches are going to have a hell of a problem. All right? Because Sark, oh yeah, he can get teams a lead, a nice big fat lead, and what happens? They blow the hell out of that late in games, don't they? That seems to be his MO. And you think I'm going to take that over some of these other coaches? Hell no. Or these other teams? You think Texas Tech is going to suck next year? No, don't count on it. TCU will be back. They will be a fantastic team next year. Baylor will be back. Oklahoma State, you better believe they're going to be good. And if Iowa State, I'm telling you, if Iowa State figures out how to put around 20 points a game on the board, that's not asking a lot in college. If they can put 20, if they can hang 20 on people, they got the defense to win a shit ton of games next year. And UCF is going to surprise a lot of people. I'm telling you right now. So it's no foregone conclusion that, because wait, ESPN put it out there, Texas and OU are just runaway favorites. No, they are not. They are going to get tripped. There's going to be a whole lot of teams out here going to sweep the leg on their ass. They ain't running away with nothing. Because every team in the Big 12 wants a piece of that burnt orange ass, wants a piece of that red Sooner ass too, before they take off to the SEC. Oh no, everyone's going to get their pound of flesh. And it's going to be fun to watch them do it. It's going to be fun to watch those teams have their ass handed to them week after week. Now, look, is Texas and OU, are they going to finish with 2 or 3 wins for the year? No, they're not. Of course not. They'll be in bowl games, 7, 8 wins, maybe even 9 wins for one of these teams. But they ain't winning the conference. They ain't getting to a conference title game. There's too many great coaches to have to go through. And those guys don't have it like that. They don't have it like Dave Aranda has it, or like Mike Gundy has it. They don't have it like Chris Kleiman or Sonny Dykes or any of these other guys have it. They're not that good. And that's a problem. And you know what? It's their problem. And then it'll be their problem in the SEC. My prediction is both those coaches in the next 3 years will be fired because they're going to go to the SEC, and then they're really going to find out what what problems can be, and they're going to get lit up. But before they do, the Big 12 is going to have a little something for them, a little kick in the ass on the way out. That's all I got on this crap. Hell with that shit. Favorite my ass. I'll be back with something else later. Bye.